Good morning, good peoples. We're in Group B for Yieldless, Yield Minimum. This Group B has been one of my favorites. I don't see it paying very well, except in my opinion, the biggest percentage payment ought to be going to GDXY. Will they do that? Probably not. They do it to their fan favorites. It's certainly not a fan favorite. But anybody with half a brain would know that that's the place to be going forward. All right, NVDY. NVDY is not so well. Somebody mentioned in the comments, I am not bullish on NVIDIA right now. I think long term it remains to be seen if the market can regain new highs. And in that case, NVIDIA has got a hell of a product. But I see the FOMO sort of disappearing, and I think September, October, they get a hard time because we saw the initial reaction to the rate, the probability with poor jobs report that, it's 95, 100% that we'll get a rate cut in September. So unless things just keep going on that path, I think real fast the fear got to be, well, does a slowdown mean sales are going to drop? Is it recessionary? And I think that's what people are worried about. All right, let's jump into NVIDIA and let's see what I have, and then I'll show you some of my stats. I have 56 cents. All right, guys, anybody who's used to 83, 102, 67, $1.60, 67, 78, $1.60, 82. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this before. The issue is just simply they aren't earning the money. These are not, when you fall, and remember, they have a head and shoulders pattern. So somebody picked up that I was bullish in the comment. I'm not bullish right now on NVIDIA at all. So doesn't mean that I couldn't be wrong or it doesn't turn and go up, but I am not on record as saying I'm bullish. I'm actually bearish short term, and then we shall see. Okay, so I got 56 cents. And let me show you where these sheets are coming from. I'm looking over here, Maro, Salty, JPMO. Here we go. All right, well, here's NVIDIA's problem. Didn't make any money. When you don't make any money, are they going to pay the IV? Well, they can do that so long. So I've got them on their two synthetics, right, where you add the call and add the put together. They made 12 cents, lost 12 cents, so they have nothing, basically negative, right? So no gain. And on their weeklies, they didn't really make any money. They may have made a few pennies. So where does that leave them? Well, it leaves them, I don't think these are current, guys. I didn't update these. So I see them dropping. Look, they dropped 10%. They went from 1796 to 1611. That's what you call ugly. And that head and shoulders isn't done, in my opinion, with going down further. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just telling you as I see it. Okay, Facebook Meta. Let's take a look. I got them paying 47 cents. Look, they're down 648. Look at everything is red. I mean everything except for GDXY, which is your biggest change, month change over change. Then dips, which is your bear fund, and then Babo. So clearly, I've said to you guys a couple times, I don't even think it's a great fund because it doesn't pay enough money, GDXY. But I say to you, if you want a fund to be in YIELDMAX that probably in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, your NAV is going to be higher. I can't say that about anything else very likely in this portfolio. GDX would be. Are there way better ways to make money? You bet, right? Buy GDX, write calls on it, do a lot of things, right? So, but if you have to be in an income fund, I've been saying it for a couple of years, but it's only been the last 6 months that it really woke up and stabilized. Everybody's been running to Ulti. Ulti is not GDXY, never will be. Okay. So dips. So I'll get there. I'll get there, guys. JPMO. So I got Facebook at 47. Do you want to see a sheet? Did they make any money? Not really. Well, they made 41 cents on their synthetic, right? Just to show you that I do go through the work to see what all is going on. I have it automated. Well, I don't have this part automated, but I have the weeklies pretty automated. They just roll up, at least for those that I even bother to care about. Okay, so 41 cents isn't a whole lot for Meta, but it's enough to keep them paying. And so I got them paying 47 cents. JPMO, how did JPMO do? Well, they didn't make much money either, but they made a little bit. They made 32 cents on their. And I say, did they make it, guys? This is book value. How much is it worth to sell the call? How much is it to buy the put back? So that's the profit at this point. It's not taken profit, okay? So, but it's an indicator. All right. So I got JPMO being about the same because look, out of these first four funds, it was down 1.6 on its trading price. So I've got it paying 27 or 28. I think I kept it at 28. Whoops. Don't want to make that yellow. 28 cents. All right. Let's keep this white unless we get a good one. All right. So let's move to MRNY. Oh, MRNY. $1.81 from $1.96. It's down 7.65%. I mean, I dropped the hell out of this one. I might be too low, but think about it. $1.81. You guys love Ulty, and it's 5 something, and it's paying 10 cents. So why should a dollar? Well, I take it back. That's 10 cents a week. So not equal comparison. That's 40 cents. So you got $1.81. Maybe I overdid it. Let me give it 6 cents. I'm not going to give it a lot though, guys. 6 cents. Like 6 SENSE, right? The 6 cents. All right, let me tell you, MRNY didn't really make any. Let me see if I have GDXY, PLTY, MARO, SALTY. Yeah, I didn't even bother with it. Okay. Let's look at GDXY. So they paid 60 cents, 33 cents, which was kind of pathetic, 84, 37, 72, 63. And look at this, up 4.77. So bottom line, this fund going all the way back this year is up. Okay, it's holding its NAV and it's increasing. And the actual fund itself is up like 75% this year. It's only Yieldless that can't keep up, right? Because it's not structured to keep up. It's structured to capture about 35%, 33%, sometimes as low as 30% of the upside move. So if you know something's going to really run, you know, why do you even want to be in an income fund? Right? But if you had to be in an income fund, I want to be in one that's bullish. I said that since day one. Now, the miners weren't moving with gold. They have been now. We're in a bull market if you haven't noticed, right? You're going to start really seeing that. Okay. It means something, guys. Buying the dips in the NASDAQ and the MAX 7 is not going to keep on, you know, looking in the rearview mirror isn't going to keep working. If it was that simple, everybody'd be doing what people were doing 100 years ago. But in case you didn't know it, the world changes. All right. And cycles, sector rotation. All right. So MRNY. GDXY. What is GDXY going to pay, Bruce? Well, let's talk about what they did. They didn't make money on their weeklies because YIELDMAX is not very good at managing their weeklies, I'll be honest. Okay. But let's go look at their synthetic. Oh, yeah. They hold a 54, right? It's at like 68. So they got $3.27 in profit. Why they're not taking some, I don't know. they lost some money on their, but this 27 million, I got them losing a little over 5 million. Okay. 5 million isn't that much. Okay, it's like 60 cents. So they lost 60 cents on their weeklies and they're up $3.27. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. I think they should pay $1. Absolutely should pay $1 because they're sitting on over 250 of profit. Will they? That's up to YIELDMAX. I doubt that they will. I'm not looking for accuracy. I'm telling what I think they ought to do, right? If I want to try and predict the right price, I give the fan favorites and the, the fanboy ones the benefit of the doubt. I've been burnt many times. I was burned on YBIT. I've been burned on GDXY. That's, I own a little bit of GDXY just because I want to laugh all the way to the bank and say, hey, it's going to end up, being home free, house money. But I always tell people, well, that's stupid. Why don't you go where you treat your money bet? Look, guys, it's like 300 shares. It's nothing. I would not put a lot in this, even though I think it's positive, because there's so much better ways to make your money in the precious metals sector than setting in a yieldless income fund, who can only do about 30% of the upside and 100% of the downside. So I know I beat a dead horse on that. So at 327 and like a net 260, they should pay up. Will they? I doubt it. If I had to give you my absolute opinion, probably be 80 cents, 87 cents, maybe 90 cents. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to tell you what I think they really ought to pay, and you ought to write them an email and tell them, hey, don't get cheap on us, right? It's the number one fund percentage-wise up, okay? It's also the number one fund that if they pay less than $1 in terms of how much they're ahead. So in my opinion, it's shameless if they don't pay up on it. Okay. But so be it. I'm gonna call it $1 and let and I can hope they reward the shareholders. Right. I mean, it isn't that many. What is it? 8,300,000. That's pretty puny in terms of their overall. Okay, dips. What do I have for dips? I think 18 cents, guys. 19. That's an inverse, and it is up. So it's the inverse of chips and dips of Nvidia. All right, let's get moving. Babo. So if I told you two stocks that I'm bullish on Babo out of all the YIELDMAX funds, mainly because it's a Chinese giant company like an Amazon, okay, that's undervalued. Emerging market China is very undervalued. Their PEs are super low. Now, they had been that way for a while and it didn't start to pick up. But my guess is this continues to perform in the U.S. market that a lot of the U.S. stocks likely won't. Okay. So what do I have paying for them? 86 cents. Let me show you. Okay. They didn't do as well as GDXY, but they do have some money. Oh, where did that go, guys? I'm on my other monitor, GDX. Whoops, I must have closed it. Oh, I see what I did. Sorry, guys. All right, $1.87, right? Less money than GDX, and I have them paying almost as much or more. So, $1.87 in value. What did I have? Let me check my notes. Did I have anything else? No. Okay. So now watch what'll happen. They pay them $1 and pay GDXY, 86 cents. What do they know about gold? What do they even care? Of course, it's not gold. Anybody who calls it gold is ignorant. It's precious metals miners. I could argue that it doesn't have anything to do with gold. It does, but it has to do with silver also. But it's miners, not the metal. It's not a physical. Okay. So PLTY. All right, PLTY. You guys know in general, I love PLTY. I say things like the best software company in the world. Would I buy it now? Absolutely not. This thing is, you talk about stretched over its 200-day moving average. Look at this fall. And I would never buy PLTY. I would buy PLTW because you start to see you can react when you're paid monthly, or sorry, when you're paid weekly. You wait a month and you don't know what you're going to get, right? Like this $7 payment, the $7 payment should have been here. This should have probably been a $5 payment, and this should probably be $1.50 or $2. Now, I've changed this about 3 times, I think. Let me see what I even have. Yeah. I had it 220. I moved it to 3. I mean, it's pathetic. It's way down. And that's what happens when a stock gets overstretched. It's getting into buy territory, but if you can get it at 45 or something, but I don't even want to recommend PLTY. PLTY just sucks. It can't capture the upside. If you don't have leverage and you take 95% on the way down and you capture 30 or 33% on the upside, don't even be in this fund. It's another Tesla with a reverse split. But you get in a fund that has leverage, it can gain when it bottoms and runs, guys. Why do you think I say that? It's far superior in Rex and Neos and Roundhill than these yieldless funds. Okay. So I got them paying $3. Why? Because they know it's a popular fund. It's one of the top 6 or 7 assets under management funds. They can't ignore it. Okay. So I think they're going to pay. What should they pay? Not very much, if anything. All right, let's go through that. Let's look at what they lost money everywhere. Oh, I take it back. Okay, they lost money all the way through all of their weeklies, and they do have $5.16. Now, part of this, you got to remember, guys, this is not a $16 stock like GDXY, or, this is a 50, still what, 55, 59? This thing, what's our price here? Yeah, 59.85. It's been as high as $94, guys. So for them to pay $1 would just be puny. 3 is puny from a yield. But guys, so what did they have? They have $5.16 is what. Did they earn it? No. Even the 347 or what the number that I quoted, 327 that I quoted you on GDXY, they didn't close it out. Okay. But it's paper value. So at least they have this on the paper value. They're not very good at capturing it on the weekly, I'll be honest. So this is something I've rarely, if ever, see them paying more than half. I have them paying more than half, right? But with GDXY, I gave them $1 on, 327, and I doubt that they'll pay that. Okay, I hope they do, but I doubt that they will. So here I'm going with 3. I mean, hell, they could pay $5, try and keep the loyalty. I really do think they want to keep the fanboy mentality. And I don't mean YouTuber or person now. I mean where people are congregated in their funds, they want to reward those people. They're high assets under management like Misty. They do not want Misty to get abandoned, so they pay $1 when there's no way they should. And something like GDXY, it's ranked like 21 or 19 out of 50 funds in terms of assets, and they don't give a damn whether it deserves $1 or not. They're going to pay it puny if they feel like paying it puny. And PLTY is up there, I think, in the top 8. It was number 4 at one time, but I think it slid back. So I'm guessing 3. Should they pay more than that? They really shouldn't, but they might. All right. So there's your 3, guys, 50%. So far, I'm saying pay me, baby, for GDXY and pay me for Babo. But what do all 3 of those have in common? Along with dips, they made money. I mean, they went up. The underlying went up. This did not, right? All right, Maro. Maro didn't do well either, guys. This is something that, in my opinion, I got it in 90 cents. They've never paid under $1. And again, do they want to keep the fanboy mentality of the crypto miner, the popularity, down? I don't know. Maybe they pay. We'll find out. If they pay $1, that says they want to keep sentiment up on this stuff. Now, do I have a Maro? I believe I do. You know what Maro earned on his synthetic, guys? Lost $3.37 a share. How about that? Lost $3.37. Didn't make any money. But somehow or another, because it's a fanboy, right? They don't want to lose to crypto buyers, crypto miners, right? But what's this thing at? It said 18. That's a big payment on an $18 price. Wouldn't surprise me if they pay $1 and keep it at $1. So you see why I point out in equities when it's subjective. This stuff shouldn't be subjective, but it is. All right. So these I don't care about too much, you know. Let's go do 4 at once. 13.5 for YMAX, 14.5 here, 58.46. Those are probably too high. I got leverages always paying 40 cents. But guys, if you haven't noticed, it's a race to the bottom. I mean, it was 48, 39, 34, went up to 40, 38, 40, 37, 33. This is getting ugly. And this is a portfolio. This isn't a single stock. But guys, they're in the wrong area. It's toppy as hell. They're still going to pay it, but all they're doing is keeping the NAV declining because they're probably paying more than they should because they don't want to lose the loyalty of it. All right, down 821. That's brutal. Look at this. The entire universe, except for GDXY, which is so obvious, that it should be, and Babo, the two I've been pointing out. And then dips just, the inverse get lucky. If this gets beat up, I don't know why. If it's a really good inverse, you'd get 7 or 8%. So it's not, but it still gets some positive. So this is ugly, guys. So 27 for Gaputi. Let's do all three. The Q Diddy, S Diddy, and R Diddy. All my Diddies. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. All right, I got 18, 17, and 26, with R Diddy being the winner. All right, guys, I'm not going to disappoint you either on. So in my opinion, the winner of all of this should be GDXY. Just slightly on Ulti. Okay, so Ulti's been holding 10, and then it didn't. Right? I think we've had 2 9 payments. Remember, I'm only showing the monthlies here each month, even though these are weekly. So in some of them, I go back and update them. But I know they just paid 9.5. So we've either had 1 or 2 9s. Well, guys, look at this. Down 10%. Went from 610 to 549. Where's that stability at, guys? It doesn't work when the markets don't support it. You buy what the market is going to lift up, okay, in an income fund. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of NAV erosion, even if they pay you. All right. Let's go take a look. I've got it in the 8s. I think instead of doing 0.085, I went 0.087. Okay. So I got it 82.40. Now, will it end up probably beating GDXY? Yeah. Should it? No, it really shouldn't. Okay, Chippy, an old chip off the block. Somebody's been having a hard time still. I got it hanging in 40. Could it be 38 or 37? It could be. It's down 3.7%. All right, salty dog, right? This ulti inverse. This thing ought to be paying $1.20 based on where NVIDIA and where some of the high flyers are being pushed down that can't regain their strength. But I don't have it doing that. Remember, it's a weekly pair. I think I got 68 on this guy. Again, this is to be sorted out. It needs to set 68 and a half. It needs to set some trends here, guys, on what it wants to do. What did I do here? Oh, I got you. These are IVs. I was thinking that was the yield percentage. So that's still a heck of a yield. Well, should it? No, this is a weekly. Or is this a monthly? I think it's got to be a monthly if it's paying 70 cents and 68 cents. So that's why maybe my yield has got it. Maybe this should be 13. I don't know, guys. I thought it was being a weekly like Ulti. I'm not, I'm a little confused right now. Sorry about that. At that kind of a price, I could see that being a weekly and doing the 52. Yeah. I think it is weekly. It's just a very high price weekly as opposed to Ulti here, right? At $5, they don't have to pay. So 68 cents, 73 yield. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Sorry, I don't mean to be so demeaning. It's really frustrating having watched YIELDMAX and having learned the ins and outs and then watched the other funds. And then, like I said, sometimes these promoters of it, and people don't wake up until it's too damn late. Do you not see things happening? Do you not understand we're in a commodity super cycle? Do you not understand that, yeah, there's going to be some AI going forward. There's going to be some stocks that do well. But the market sentiment and the whole focus is shifting, guys. This is about massive debt. Okay. That's why the precious metal, that's why the central banks of the world are buying gold. If you don't get in on this thing, you're going to come flying in the sixth and seventh inning, okay? And you're still going to maybe run up 100%, and then it's going to die on you. And you're just going to get frustrated saying, well, I'll never do that again. Whereas if you get in now or 6 months ago or a year ago when I was talking about it, you make 5x, 6x, etc. Yeah, I know there aren't that many great income funds. But like I said, if right here, you can be in a damn fund that hasn't lost anything all year long. What is wrong with that? Okay, it's not the highest yielder in the world, but instead you chase yield and you find the NAV going down and it frustrates you. Learn from the market. Learn from somebody who's trying to educate you and trying to help you instead of just listening to fanboys that spiel the stuff that they're pushed to spiel or they're rewarded for spieling. It just frustrates me that you guys don't pay attention and you don't listen for the most part. And I don't care anymore. Okay. I'm going to rant. I'm going to continue with my Patreon. I'm probably going to go to all metals and get out of these income funds. Because if you understand the metals are going to move, then you're going to be in metal income funds. It's just tired of telling you over and over when that's not what you want to hear. The retail public today isn't even in the damn precious metals. They're negative. The outflows are greater than the inflows. Like I said, by the time they figure it out and flow in, they're going to miss a huge amount. It's just frustrating that you guys keep doing the same thing. There's still Misty holders that say it. Yeah, I'm positive on BTC. I hope BTC regains. But right now I'd be doing BTC incomes and not MSTR based income funds. This isn't that hard if you're a student of the markets and you understand the markets instead of just jumping around and chasing yield all the time and ignoring total return. It just, how many times do you have to tell people? I almost never want to do any metals videos because my view count is so low in comparison. But I know the smart people are doing it. And I get a lot of people that say, Bruce, ever since you did that one in May and June, I'm up 80 or 90% on all the things I bought. Of course you are, right? Because that's where the smart money is going, not where the popular money is going. The popular are the dumbest people in the market. Okay. The really smart money leads them around by the nose, and all the institutions are dumping on all the retail people that are buying every single dip. Only when they decide they're done and they want to let go with all of it, that's when the bottom comes out, and then you're left holding nothing. And then you're frustrated and mad and pissed off. Well, I'm just mad and pissed off because I've been trying to help you for a long time and you don't always listen. All right, guys, I'm done. I know I really took my rant to the nth degree here, but it's just frustrating. All right, guys, this is it. It's not financial advice. It's rants. All right, guys. Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. Catch you next time. Bye for now.